translation says, don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this season of Thanksgiving and for all you have done. We ask that you help us to carry a spirit of Thanksgiving with us every day. During today's deliberations, let there be a spirit of unity and cooperation among the commissioners. Let your wisdom govern them as they decree decisions for the people of this region. Let the decisions here today be made from a place of empathy for those who reside in this county. Renew the strength and zeal of each commissioner as they continue to serve your people. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Darcel. Thank you, Commissioner Haydos, for inviting Darcel to do our invocation today. Next item, please.
Reading, correcting, and approval of the journal.
Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Move for approval. Support.
Moved and supported. Is there any discussion on the journal? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Next item.
Report from the chair.
Just want to thank everyone who were able to come out to the Tri-County Summit last Friday at the Detroit Zoo. It was a great showing, action-packed day filled with information about broadband and what we're doing with Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne County collectively to make sure that all of our citizens have access to the internet. And then with water infrastructure, had a great panel on water infrastructure and things that we want to do to make sure that the infrastructure is there, and then also to make sure that we do things that are going to help with the flooding that we've experienced, and just making sure that we work together on those issues. Water doesn't know the difference between 8 Mile or Van Dyke, it just flows. So we have to make sure that we're working together to keep our infrastructure tight as well as our bodies of water that surround us, Clinton River, Detroit River, St. Clair, all of those waterways. So it was a great day. I want to thank Commissioner Marecki, Commissioner Baker McCormick, Commissioner Baydun, and Commissioner Dobb. They worked on the subcommittees over the last year. So last year we were in Macomb County. This year we were in Oakland County. Next year, Wayne County will host. So in a few months, we'll start planning for where and when we'll have it here in Wayne County. So it's just good to work together. Also, what we've done is we've received a grant from SIMCOG for broadband so that we can do a survey as to where the needs for broadband and internet connection are in our county. Detroit is doing its own survey, so it's going to exclude Detroit. It's also going to exclude Canton because they're doing their own, but the rest of the county municipalities will be doing a survey to see where the need is for broadband services. So it was a great panel. I'm thankful for everyone who showed up, and it's great to work with our neighboring counties as we move this region forward. So again, thank you all for coming and showing up. Next item.
Unfinished business, there is none listed. We're moving to page 2 of the agenda, offering of all petitions, ordinances, resolutions, and presentations. There is one item on the addenda. Item number 1 is an ordinance by Commissioner Bell to amend Chapter 120 of the Wayne County Code of Ordinances, the procurement ordinance, to add Section 12260 to authorize and ratify the process established for change orders for the Criminal Justice Center project.
Move approval.
Okay, it's been moved. There's support.
Support.
Okay, moved and supported. I want the council to discuss this briefly. We've been working with Corp Counsel as it relates to the Criminal Justice Center, and this passageway is just for the Criminal Justice Center as change orders come to us. But Felicia, if you could expound on this item.
Good morning, through the chair. So a few years back, this body should recall that you adopted a resolution to establish a process for change orders for the criminal justice complex. Because of the nature of construction, the contract with ROC requires that there's a 5-day turnaround by the county with regards to all change orders. So a special process was established by this body via resolution with regards to that process. It was later discovered that there was provision in the procurement ordinance that could have potentially conflicted with that resolution. So all of this does here is to establish in the procurement ordinance that the process previously established by this body takes precedence. This provision of the ordinance will sunset and go away as soon as the criminal justice complex is completed, and it is only applicable with regards to the criminal justice complex. So it doesn't change anything that this body has previously done. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. Any discussion on this item? And this is for first reading. Yes, this is for first reading and referred to a committee on government operations to then come back at our last meeting on December 15th. Any discussion? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Next item.
Turning to the agenda, we're on reports from committees. Report A is from the Committee on Economic Development. There are 6 items listed.
Mr. Jesus.
Thank you, Madam the Chair. I move to receive and file item 1, 2, and 3, and for approval 4, 5, and 6.
Support.
Moved and supported for the Committee on Economic Development. Any discussion on this report? Discussion? Okay, hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Thank you, and I forgot to give my little disclaimer at the beginning of the meeting for the listening audience. We vet and we work in the committee structure, so all of the items that are on our agenda have been vetted and discussed at our committees, and they come here for final disposition. Okay, next item, please.
We're on report B from the Committee on Public Services. There are 6 items listed on pages 3 through 5 of the agenda.
Commissioner Marecki.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval of items 1 through 6 and make Commissioner Knizik the maker of the motion for 2 and 3.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported. Any discussion on the public services report? Commissioner Basham?
Could someone explain why the routine item, like number 6 is retroactive?
And number 6. Someone from the administration to speak to number 6.
On here. You hear me?
Yes.
Good morning, Commissioner. Good morning, Commissioner Basham. And I'll definitely explain it to you. And I anticipated that you were going to ask me about that because I know we do not like retros. This is the contract to add the criminal justice complex. This is for RNA. We had to do an additional cost based on the square footage and additional parking lots that we'll be adding to that. So it is a retro modification.
I'm sorry. Didn't you see that coming? You know, it's nothing new.
Well, I think during the process that we did previous, that we've added some parking spaces and parking lots to that, so that's additional cost.
You know, my thing is, I don't know why we don't anticipate some of this stuff. And every time we're going to have retroactive contracts in front of me, I'm going to raise the question about them. And also sole source.
Understand? Any further questions?
Thank you. Any additional questions on this item or any of the items on the public services report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries, and I have Commissioner Knizik as the maker of the motion on items 2 and 3.
Vice Chair Palomero.
Madam Clerk, I vote yes on all items except number 5, which I abstain.
Noted.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Here on report C from the Committee on Health and Human Services, there are 9 items listed on pages 5 through 9 of the agenda.
Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to receive and file item number 1 and items 2 through 9. Move approval.
Moved and supported for the Health and Human Services report. Any discussion on any of these items? Commissioner Kenlock.
Madam Chair, I'd like to be the maker of the motion on item 4 and 8.
4 and 8.
Yes.
That fine? Okay, all right. No problem. Any further discussion on the Health and Human Services report? Please vote.
Motion carries, and I have Commissioner Kenlock as the maker of the motion on number 4 and 8.
Okay, all right, thank you. We're going to the addenda now.
We are going to the addenda for Report D from the Committee on Public Safety, Judiciary, and Homeland Security. There are 9 items listed.
Commissioner Clark Coleman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval on all items. These items 1 through 9.
Okay, 1 through 9. Any discussion on the public safety report?
Madam Chair,
Mr. Kniezek,
I'd like to abstain on items 4 and 5, please.
4 and 5. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
noted. Commissioner Marecki?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will be voting for all of these except a no on number 9.
No on number 9? Clerk will note. Any additional discussion on the public safety report? Please vote.
Motion carries. I have Commissioner Kniezek as an abstention on 4 and 5, Commissioner Marecki as a no on item number 9.
You, next item, please.
The next item is Report E from the Committee on Seniors and Veterans Affairs. There are 2 items listed.
Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move approval of both items, please.
Moved and supported for the 2 items on the Seniors and Veterans Affairs report.
Let me just say that Mr. Walker is here today and he had a great report on the veterans.
Thank you, Mr. Walker, for that report and for all that you're doing for our veterans. We're excited on what you're doing with that department. There's a receive and file for number 1 and move approval on number 2. Any discussion on the report? Hearing none, please vote.
Motion carries.
Great, next item, please.
We're returning to the agenda, upcoming meetings.
Okay, please note the upcoming meetings. If there are any changes, please let the clerk know. Next item.
New business, there are no items listed. We are moving to testimonial resolutions and certificates of appreciation. There are 11 items listed on pages 10 and 11 of the agenda, and item number 12 is on the addenda.
There a motion for the testimonial resolutions and certificates. Okay, Commissioner Kenlock moves approval, supported by Commissioner Haydus. Any discussion on any of the resolutions or certificates of appreciation? Discussion? Please vote.
Motion carries.
Next item, please.
Here on page 11 of the agenda, memoriams, there is one name listed on the addenda as well, item number 2.
Wish to speak on their memoriams. Mr. Kenlock?
Madam Chair, I would like to take this time to recognize the life of Colin Lanier Dubois, who was a developer, one of the earlier low-income or affordable housing developers in Midtown. He was someone who had a long-standing career with the State of Michigan Housing Authority, and he was the type of person that was very understanding of the plight of his tenants. Even into this day, he and his companies have taken great strides in making sure that they have included as part of how they operate a sort of self-imposed rent self-imposed rent restriction or guidelines that they use to make sure that they're not pricing residents or longstanding residents out of the availability to afford their apartments or their residence. And so he was just such a remarkable man. And I just could not let this meeting go by without recognizing the kindness and the generosity and the forethought that Colin Du Bois shown in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to add, it was just not Midtown, but he did a lot in Highland Park. And he was an extraordinary man and just did a great job for us. So I just want to thank God for his life and all that he was able to do.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you both. Yes, he did great works throughout Wayne counties, and we're grateful for, again, his foresight and what he was able to do as a developer. So do you have the arrangements? If you could share the arrangements if they have not already passed.
They already had passed.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did, as you see, included all commissioners because I knew he just was a developer all over the state of Michigan. But more importantly, I knew he was very close to many individuals on the commission.
Thank you. Any additional remarks under memoriams? Hearing none, please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you all, and we'll continue to keep those who have lost someone in our prayers. Next item.
Public comments.
Is there anyone on Zoom or on the telephone with public comments? Raise your hand. I see Robert. Go ahead and unmute yourself, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
2 minutes.
Good morning, Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, Council. Robert Plowski here from Southgate. I represent the Wayne County Youth Council, District 15. I do not have a report for you guys this morning, but other than to say thank you for allowing me to attend the Tri-County Summit. It was an honor and pleasure to be there with you guys and learn what the other two counties are doing, and also learning what Wayne County can also do, but also getting a brief update from what we saw last year at the 2021 Summit. We have a lot of good things, especially with our water and broadband that are coming to this county, and we can start looking into more potential options and also look into the future of our county. But into conversation with Chairman Dave Woodward and Chairman Don Brown regarding our youth council, for the amazing leadership we've had here in this county and forming councils to be able to give everybody a voice here in Wayne County. They are interested in our youth council, and they look forward to hopefully partnering with us and actually doing something of their own with their commission. But hopefully we'll look forward to bringing you guys more information as the days go by, and hopefully get some good news. But they're very interested, and they're very happy to see programs like this be coming to Wayne County, and also just giving voices for people that would like to be a leader for their county. But big thanks to Commissioner Baker McCormick for all the wonderful leadership she does. But as always, hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, and look forward to talking with you guys on the 15th. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for coming to the Tri-County Summit. I think it's important that young leaders like yourself see and are exposed to as much as possible, so you can be our future leaders in governing once we're out of here. So thanks for participating. Any others for public comments on Zoom or on the telephone? Okay, hearing none. Anyone in the audience for public comments? So much, Commissioner. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item.
Reconsiderations.
There are none. Next.
Remarks by members.
Real quick, I spoke about the fact that I went to see the JDF at Dickerson about 2 weeks ago, just to see how the young people, the environment that they're in. And again, if there's anyone who's interested, please let Tim know, and they'll do a tour for you. But also I wanted to ask Melissa if you could come speak to, as you know, there's a staffing shortage, of course, throughout the county, and that includes JDF as well. So an emergency procurement was done to place staff at JDF to make sure that we are in compliance with state law on how many people we have to operate the facility. So if you could give your name and tell us what the status of that and what you see is going forward, what we're going to do with staffing of the JDF. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, real quick, can you speak closer to the microphone? How long do you suspect these individuals will be here? How long is the contract? 6 months? I thought it was important for everyone to know that, to know that, again, we're in a situation where we have to have staffing for that facility to meet the license requirements. And this was an emergency procurement to meet that. Hopefully they will decide to come on Wayne County's payroll full time after this 6-month period. But we'll make sure that a further discussion is had during a Health and Human Services meeting, just to kind of keep up on what's going on over there. Any questions before she takes her seat?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, yesterday, we, in our Public Safety Judiciary Committee meeting, the chair asked about an incident that had occurred as far as the heating system, HVAC system at the one of the jails. And one thing that I had mentioned was we heard about it through the media. And what I suggested to them, and I would like to share with you, is creating a sort of system similar to one that exists in other organizations, where when there are certain major incidents that occur at the facility, that a notification goes out to the county executive as well as the legislative branch, the county commission, and inform us of this incident that has occurred within your organization. So it's something that I think would be a good protocol to put in place so that this commission and others were not of high relative relationship with the county government won't find out from the media news reports. And so at least some notification making us aware that these type of issues are developing or being addressed within the department would be very helpful for me as an elected. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Kinlock. That's a great idea to maybe have that codified somehow. I know we do it verbally and it comes kind of ebb and flow. Sometimes it does, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't happen. But to put into place actual procedure, I think would be extremely helpful. So we'll work on that together to make sure that happens. Any other questions for Commissioner Anderson?
Not her, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much. And we look forward to getting a report at Health and Human Services. Thank you. We are still under remarks by members. Commissioner Anderson?
Thank you. I just wonder if there's someone from the administration that could address this, but it's, we've had some construction going on Wayne Road, south of Joy, that has reduced the travel on the southbound side to 1 lane. And anyone that knows that area knows how busy that road is. And we get backups that go almost all the way up to, well, they start just south of Plymouth Road. And it's causing a lot of frustration by drivers. And it's been about 3 months now that this has been going on. And it's not, I'm not saying it's DPS certainly, but it's AT&T working on something underneath the ground. And they had a problem that caused them to start over. But it's a big issue out in our area because of Wayne Road being a major thoroughfare. And I just wonder if there's someone that could find out or get an answer on when that's going to be completed.
Eddie, you want to take that one?
He's got the answer, I'm sure. I noticed there. But I would think, well, it's not DPS doing the work. I would think they have some, something to wield to get the contractor that's working there for an AT&T to move faster because it seems. Okay. There are days that there's nothing happening there and the lane is still shut down and causing the jams. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Basham?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. One of the things that keeps coming up meeting after meeting, year after year, is because of the shortage, for example, with the Sheriff's Department, and there's others, we need to be competitive when it comes to wages and benefits. And I think sometimes you can't save money by cutting jobs or maintaining yesterday's wages and benefits. So that's something that I think that the administration and the commission should look at, compare us to other counties, but also we don't have to follow the lead. We could be the lead if we decided to do that. So that's my serious thing I want to talk about. The non-serious thing that I want to talk about, I was unable to make the Tri-County meeting at the zoo, Oakland County Zoo. In any way, I hear that was a wild meeting. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you. It was pretty wild, Commissioner. No, thank you for that. And to your first point, that's the discussion we're having at the benefits task force, looking at salaries, wages, benefits, all of that. So yes, we will certainly do that because if you recall, I don't know, gosh, 8 years ago or so, there was supposed to be a wage salary study done, and I don't think that ever happened. And whatever it would have been 8 years ago, of course, is different now in today's environment. So we will certainly continue to work on that at the task force. Any additional remarks by member? Commissioner Kniezek?
Thanks, Madam Chair. Yeah, before the meeting, Commissioner Palomera had walked over and we were starting a conversation. He was about to congratulate me and all of the other University of Michigan fans on an amazing 12-0 season. And so I simply wanted to thank Commissioner Palomera for his support. And I wanted to thank all of the other Michigan State fans out there for their love and support for our University of Michigan football team this year. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Here, here.
Thank you. And I know Commissioner Palomera is such a big fan of U of M that he has additional comments to make. Vice Chair Palomera.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You're right, David. I was going to congratulate you. I don't know why I would have even thought about the game had you not worn it. But your team, and probably more people in this room root for your team than for the team that wear green and white, absolutely went into Columbus and kicked Ohio State's esoteric football team all over that stadium.
Yes.
And you deserve,
Yeah.
and as a matter of
So
fact,
do I
I'm a,
watch a game, but I watched that one.
yes,
Exactly.
I am a fan of a radio station, sports talk radio station, where I do call in once in a while. And I was on this week congratulating your team and also mentioning that it would not be fair if you had to play Ohio State again in the football playoffs, which I don't think your team wants to have to beat them twice because you beat a very good football team. Congratulations.
Very good. We were all Wolverines on Saturday, so thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair Pro Tem Baydun.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, congrats to U of M, Go Blue. Of course, I'm a Michigan dad. But also, I would like to congratulate the U.S. men's soccer team on their convincing victory over Iran yesterday in the World Cup in Qatar. Now they move on to face the Dutch on Saturday. It's a great and exciting team for the United States, and this is the reason why I'm wearing my American flag.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Someone said it nicely yesterday about the win that the United States soccer team made, was that sports unites us, no matter what our differences are. When we root for one team, that's a uniting factor. So that was great for the U.S. team to win yesterday on the soccer. That really united the whole country. So we look forward to another win on Saturday. Absolutely. Additional, Commissioner Basham?
I wasn't going to say anything about that, but a little brother that's been referred to by U of M, Sparties are pretty good also in the state. But if you can't root for Sparties, root for U of M, because we don't want to root for Ohio. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Okay, cool. I have a couple more things and then we'll adjourn. Many of you know we have had the pleasure of working with a great person as our CFO, Mr. Huey Newsome. He is leaving us for bigger and brighter and better things, but we are thankful for his time here serving as our CFO. He's not here today, I don't think, but we just want to let him know that we thank him for his service. We wish him luck in his new position with the Piston Group. He's going to be awesome over there as well. And if you get a chance to see him, just thank him for what he's done with Wayne County for the past 2 years. Additionally, Mr. Drew Vandenhurt. Oh, Drew's here. Stand up, Drew. Drew also will be leaving us. Drew is going on to greener pastures as well. But we want to thank him for give him a hand because he's going to make some good money. He's been serving, just recently serving as our budget director. So we want to thank him for, prior to that, he was with Corp Counsel, as you know. So we want to thank him for his service here. I guess the theme is that Wayne County's talent is so good that the private sector comes and swoop them away from us. But it's great to have such good talent. Drew, we thank you for your service and of course, wish you well in your future endeavors as well. So thank you. Let's give a round of applause for his service. So I guess that's the upside, is that we have such great people here that everyone wants them. So that's how we're going to look at this as we lose 2 of our brightest stars here, but they'll do well in their new positions. They won't forget about us, I'm sure. Commissioner Clark-Coleman?
But maybe we should be more competitive. That's my last remark.
Absolutely. But it's hard to compete with those corporations. We can't pay $500,000. But those corporations are really doing something these days. All right. Any other remarks by members? Any additional remarks by members?